Okay, I want to talk about language, syntax, and naming in on Wings Made of Gauze. So, by language, I'm talking about the diction that Nikky Finney chooses in her poems. By syntax, I'm talking about the order choice that she uses. What order does the sentence come in or the phrase come in? And by naming, I mean, what does she call the thing? Does she call the thing something different than its name? So an example of some of that would be bearded walls on page 16. Brick walls be black women. So here we're talking about language. What diction is she choosing? What words is she choosing? Brick walls be black women. Black women, not brick walls, can be heard crying. Sometimes sisters be like house slippers. Black women and salt water tears attract, fit are as one, melt together. The line breaks there. I'm sorry, the breaks between words there. Black women be sensitive. Black men be like beards. Brick walls be like black women. And then she names the poem Bearded Walls. I think her language, syntax, and naming are really interesting across her books. And here you can see her really thinking about it and trying to figure it out. So on page 26, you have a poem that starts with a verb, no subject there, right? Stole your eyes so you couldn't take pictures with you to those who really matter. So those who really matter being those greatest names on page 13 in the first poem. So she starts with no subject. So this would get at syntax. She does not name in that part the people she's accusing of this, right? And halfway through the poem, she does it again. Cut them out so that once past gates of pearl and angel wings, you couldn't see to tell their mothers, baby sisters sit on their grandmother's knee with the word of which one of you, brothers, sons it was, while pointing to empty sockets that your mama used to winterize with Vaseline and kiss. Again, that starting without the subject and not naming the subject is interesting syntax to me. Page 31, from the Mothers of Writers, she says, from their very first steps, these almost women, so the naming there, they're almost women. What does Toni Morrison call? Oh yeah, Toni Morrison in Beloved calls the baby Beloved, the almost crawling baby. And here we have Nikky saying the almost women. Okay, the almost women are learned resistance as they begin to grow. So she's using Southern language, Southern diction to say they are taught resistance, but by saying they are learned resistance, you pull into that Southernism, and you're also you're also giving that phrase a second meaning. So they are learned resistance as they begin to grow. On page 34, this poem is called For She Whose Feet Have Been Guided. There's a phrase that says, and how when you walk your feet be testifying, and the dust that flies is your witness. I mean, that's just savvy. But also she's playing with the language, be testifying, witness. So we're getting into this church language as well as playing with those verbs. So you got a poem called Rent Free. That ain't nothing but a Southernism, you know? She talks about old lady Aiken and lays out this emerald green lawn, and that's just interesting language. So I'm pointing this out to, on page 46 too. I'm sorry, Lady Aiken is on page 44. On page 46 too, she says that her mother is singing about losing something I knew she never had. I mean, that's just a creative way to put that, to name to say she was singing the blues, to rename the blues, singing about something that I knew losing something I knew she never had. So I want to point that out to say, oh yeah, on page 21, when the house is on fire and they have to go grab jars of oxygen, right? In order to and make ladders from their hair. Just interesting wording. So I want to point that out, and I also want to say that this of course the facility with language just increases as she gets more experience and gets age. But in Rice, some examples of this are, it ain't always simple for us to fix something what's broke up so bad. It ain't always so simple to fix something what's broke up so bad, right? City man come tell me, say, listen, we know somebody behind the gate. City man come tell me, say? City man come tell me. Say, listen, we know. I mean, we is show forgetting who is the elder. She's playing with a particular character's speech here, but it's, when we talking about Southernisms, this is it. This is it. This is really experimenting with it. And so as we read Head Off and Split, definitely look for places where she's engaging the character's voice in a very committed way, and places where she is renaming another thing. So like the woman with the cheerleading arms. Arms are really important in general to Nikky. Look for places like that. I think those are moments of richness.